What's up? We got Supergirl Season 2, Episode 2, The Last Children of Krypton. So anyway, this episode starts off with Supergirl and Superman totally defeating fires and doing a bunch of stuff. So then we see him, then we see Cadmus, the evil organization, the evil organization that just wants to, basically, Cadmus's whole deal is that they hate aliens and that they want to that they think that aliens are a threat to humanity and will turn on them one day, so they want to eradicate aliens as soon as they can. Yeah, that's basically Cadmus's entire deal. So Kara's like, yay. Clark's here, but John's like, I'm gonna do my best Batman voice. Even though he doesn't have the Batman voice in the season, he's like, oh yeah, I don't like it. Because I'm John Jones and I like Superman. So he basically explains that the reason, as I said before, he's the reason, he coined kryptonite, not Clark in this version. So Kara meets her new boss, Snapper Carr, who is the worst character. How could you put Kara with this guy? So Kara and Superman go to stop a guy from dying, but only discover that it's Corbin. And they're like, Corbin. And Kara's like, Corbin. And he's like, and he blasts Superman. He's like, no, metallo. I'm just like, I'm trying to do my best British accent because that's the guy's character. He's like, no, metallo. And poof, I know it doesn't sound British, but I'm best here, guys. Don't get angry if I don't sound like a Brit. If my bad British impression doesn't sound like British impression. Don't get mad at that. That's just me doing the best I can. So then Clark gets mad, saying, "Hey, you told me that there wasn't any kryptonite. There was only kryptonite Geo." And he's like, some kryptonite escaped, and he's like, that must have been what affected Corbin. So back with I'm gonna talk about the Snapper Carr thing. So Snapper Carr's like, hey, he's like, hey, where's my chair? He's like, you don't get. He's like, you don't get chair, ponytail. And she's like, why? He's like, because you. And he's like, this. And he's like, I chose to be a reporter. And he's like, you don't choose to be a reporter, Carr. You have to earn it. You don't get a job at the big boy table. You can't just choose to be at the big table, the big boy table with all the. You can't just be with all the big supers, and you can't just choose to be a super person. You can't just choose to be a part of the Justice League. You have to earn your Justice League status. Basically, I use the Justice League as an example. And he's like, and Carr basically goes saying, hey, Miss Grant, can you tell Snapper Carr to accept me? And she's like, Kara, you want her really to go talking to her boss for her? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, no, I'm not going to be fighting your boss. I'm not going to be. You are your own big girl, Kara, and you can do things for yourself. Basically. So back with Kat. So Clark and John decide to go to the fortress because they see Kallix, and Kallix is like, hello, Kal-El, or hello, Clark, and he's like, hey, Kallix, I need you to see what. And he says what the residue is, but it's something that I can't explain because obviously So Wynn's basically now the DEO's tech guy because off screen he decided to quit his job at the Cat Grant Worldwide Media, and work for DEO. Basically, that's what he chose. Well, Cat didn't even remember his name at all. First, she didn't even know what his name was, and then she called him Tech. Then she called him Toyman Jr. in one episode. So, and then she said Win, and then yeah. So he's kind of glad they quit, but yeah. So yeah. So basically, Cadmus decides to create a second metallo to attack Kara and to attack Kara. So Kara takes on John Corbin, and John Jones just transforms into this little girl in a Supergirl outfit, Superman and Supergirl cape, which is like, huh? And he decides to just stand there, pretend to be terrified at this, and then show he's John until I just don't get this. Clark gets attacked. John shows up as a little girl, and then decides to fully transform until Clark's like attacked. What was the point of all that? Why was he a little girl? Like, why was he a scared little girl? That didn't make any sense. He just transformed into some little girl. Until Clark's injured, and then he's like, oh, guess I gotta go fight. That didn't make any sense at all. So he decides to fight him, so they rip the mill hard, both out of Corbin and the other guy. So wow, that's the end of Metallo, everyone. But I think I prefer Smallville's version of Metallo better than this one, because at least that one had, that one was given a Kryptonian heart by General Zod. Lillian just gives him kryptonite. Yeah, and they just take it out, killing him in his only appearance as Metallo. What the crap, CW? What the crap? CW. I don't understand why make him Metallo. Why last episode he was showing up as regular John Corbin. He gets shot by Lena, become Metallo in this episode, and then what? Gets killed. Like, I thought you were trying to learn from CBS's mistake of doing characters unjustified, but you do what they used to do, CW. You were trying to learn from your mistake of not making what CBS did, of only making characters like Red Tornado, Silver Banshee. I'm gonna say her, because she was only like a villain for like one episode. And here was Metallo. He's like a villain for like one episode, and he's just gone. They take him out in one episode. And Clark, the whole thing is that Clark decides to want to go back to Metropolis. Kara's like, oh yeah, I want to go too. And Alex is like, wait, what? You're really gonna leave me, leave the DEO, leave everything? And she's like, you can't go back to defending without her in Metropolis. DEO can actually go back to doing what it's meant to do, track aliens. And Alex is like, I gave up a medical career, which is probably a reference to her actress's portrayal on Grey's Anatomy. She's like, I gave up a medical career to protect you. Yeah, but then just like with Astra, Alex is attacked by a villain, a female villain, just like with Astra. In the second episode of season 1 and season 2, Alex is attacked by a villain of the bad guys they're trying to take down. And they even make a nod to Astra by saying when Alex says, "Hey, she put a kryptonite sword through Astra's chest," and she's like, "Yeah, but Stanley, you could just go about it. The DEO has messed with your mind. It's made you think that aliens are our heroes, but no, they're really the menace to society." And she's like, "Yeah, nah, I don't believe that." But then Kara, yeah, so Clark decides to leave. Who also leaves? Kat. Kat leaves. Who was guessing this? Kat decides to leave. Because the actress. It's based on the actress. The actress who plays Kat, Clarissa Flockhart. I'm hoping getting her name right. The show moved from LA to Vancouver, but the actress liked her home in LA instead of moving to Vancouver. So instead of like they have Kat leave, and they basically have James take over as the new boss. Okay. James was the camera guy, and now he's just the new head of Catco? Let's name it to James Co. now. Because basically James is the main boss. He became, he was the camera guy of Catco, to now he's just the boss. And then Kara goes to the then she has one final scene with Miss Grant, Supergirl. And then she's like, hey, then she goes to the unconscious guy and says, hey, when you wake up, she'll be right beside him so he doesn't feel alone. Then he wakes up and almost strangled Kara. So that was the episode. It was okay. James is the new boss of Catco, which is so random now. That means he's now the boss of Snapper Carr. And yeah. And the Grey's Anatomy reference was, and the scene where the first time where Metallo attacks Kara and Superman's holding her, it's kind of like the comic book accurate page from Crisis on Infinite Earths. That comic page where Superman holds Supergirl's dead body. They're kind of copying that. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll see you next time for some more Supergirl. Up and away. Yeah, try to do it differently than my other videos.